Welcome to Grandpa's Toolkit. This is me, and this is my grandpa.
Welcome to Grandpa's Toolkit. I'm Grandpa. Today, we're going on a field trip. But first, I have to go to the bathroom. We have to go to the bathroom because that's where our field trip is. We're going to look at our sinks and toilets. So, come on, let's go. The tools we'll be using today is a crescent wrench, our Allen wrenches, and a Phillips head screwdriver. To turn off our water, we're going to go under the sink. There we are. And if you look around, you'll see two knobs. Those knobs are your water. So we'll turn that one off. We're going to turn clockwise. These only require a 90-degree twist to shut them off. You might have to go farther, but now the water's off and I can work. If you look closely at our cold water faucet, or the handle, you'll see a small hole right there. That hole is where we stick our Allen wrench in, and that will help us disconnect the handle and get to the internal workings of the faucet. I've put out our Allen wrench here. It goes straight into this hole, and you move it around till you can find it linking in or connecting with the nut that's in there. We turn counterclockwise to loosen it. Okay, so we have loosened the handle and with our Allen wrench, so we can pull that up. And what you'll see here is a cartridge, and it's being held by a big nut. The water is off, so we can put our crescent wrench on that nut and begin to turn it. Okay, I don't think this one's on real tight, and it doesn't need to be, just tight enough to make sure it all fits in and holds well. So we take our nut off, turning counterclockwise, and now we can pull out the cartridge. And this is the cartridge. If the water has been dripping right from the handle on either side, that means this little black ring here, this is called an O-ring. It's like a rubber O or a rubber circle. That is not making the seal inside here. And so the water is coming outside that way. You might be able to tighten down the nut. That might help, but more likely you'll need to get a new O-ring. And make sure with it laying flat, measure it as closely as you can and look for that size at your local department store, and then put it on, and that should take care of it. Now, inside here, we've got our cartridge, and you see the little holes there in the bottom of it. Stay there. Now I have closed the sink drain to make sure if I drop anything, it doesn't go down the drain, because that would be a problem. Now I used my Phillips head screwdriver to grab the next part of the sink and the faucet. And there's a spring and a little washer that looks like a cup with a hole in the middle of it. I'll hold it that way so you can see it. But it's thick and it's got like an opening there. And typically, if you are leaking, it's this has become worn and not sealing. What happens is the water comes through that little hole of the cup and out through here up into your faucet, and it'll come out these side vents here. So what's happened is you're seeing this little rubber cup has been worn out. So I know mine doesn't leak, so we're going to put it back together, and that's what you'll do if you get a new one from your hardware store. You put on your something straight and narrow, like a Phillips head screwdriver. You'll put on that cup washer. You'll put on the spring, and then hold it while you stick your screwdriver down into the hole where they go. And there's a little tiny hole there that they just fit in, and then you kind of have to wiggle it a little bit to make sure it seats well, and mine is seated well. Now, I don't know if I remembered to tell you to pay attention to where this tab is. My tab was facing toward the center, so I've got to put it back in the center, and that will make my handles stick out this way again, so which is what I want it to do. You'll see there's a little notch. I put the notch in that where the notch is. I take this. Now you'll notice it didn't seat completely. This will help it do that. So tightening the nut will help it go down and seat completely. So I've got it finger tight. I'll take my wrench, tighten it a little more. And we don't want to go so tight that we can't turn the water on, and that's what will happen if you decide you're going to go all Hulk on it and tighten it very tightly. So it's snug, and we can put that on. And just to make sure we're okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn the water on. Okay, no water is flowing. We're good. This still moves easily. We tap that down just a little to make sure it fits. And then we'll go ahead, we'll take our Allen wrench, tighten it back up by putting it in there, wiggling it around until we're sure it's in the thing, and then turning clockwise. And after we do that, this will be done. So some of you have talked about a problem with your toilet running. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. We're going to go to the back of the toilet, and we're going to take the lid off and start looking at the different parts of the toilet and what might be leaking. Okay, let's talk about what's happening in the toilet here and what may cause a leak. Now, what you've got here is your fill valve, all right, and the water comes from the line and comes through here into the tank. This black pipe actually fills up the bowl after you flushed it. Water comes in, and that helps fill the bowl after everything's closed up. This is your flapper valve, okay? This one is not actually a flapper, but this seals everything. When you push down your button, this arm lifts, and the water rushes out, but this is so heavy, it will drop down and block that. Now some of you may, if you look inside your toilet, you'll have a little black circle or a reddish orange circle with some like arms or a little thing sticking out. Then it's hooked to something like the standpipe here. And when you flush it, it pops up and then it flaps down, and that's called the flapper. And the things that leak, one, it might be your flapper, or the thing that seals your toilet is old and worn out. Those are fairly cheap to replace, and if you've got one that connects to the standpipe, you just need to rehook it to the standpipe. There's like little ears that do that. Another thing that might be leaking is your float might get full of water. Now some of you, your float, you may see a metal arm sticking out and then a big ball that sometimes those begin to rot and take on water. And if they do, they'll sit in the water and tell the toilet or the fill valve to keep putting water in. And so you'll hear it going like this because the float, and this is my float, continues to fill because it thinks it's not full. So you can take, if you've got that ball, you can take it out, drain it, or replace it. Those actually are fairly cheap too, frequently under $5. The final thing, which is the most expensive, is your fill valve. Inside the mechanisms there might be worn out. And if that's the case, then you may want to go ahead and either have a plumber come and do it. It's not a big job, but it is a messy job. Okay, and we'll talk about how to do that someday, but not today. So, but those are the three main ways your toilet is leaking. Either here, in the fill valve, your float, or your flapper valve. And I hope that helps. Again, the float and the flapper valve, easy to replace. Thank you for joining me today. This has been just wonderful to be a part of your lives and to share a little bit of what I know. I'm thankful for you, and I so appreciate you coming and joining me. Remember to show your love and say thank you to people who have meant something to you, because we all need to hear that. We all need to get that pat on the back to know that we make a difference. And I want you to know, friends, you make a difference.